Most expensivest, Kitty Boy. True.
What started out as a 2-cent magazine to sell knickknacks in 1930 is now a global comic phenomenon worth over $7 billion. When 2 Chainz heard Dinesh Shamdasani had some early editions of his favourite characters, he couldn't resist jumping into the action.
All right, what's going on? They tell me you are the man with the magazines, not just magazines.
Comics. I'm a man-child, a grown man that is obsessed with childish things.
When I was coming up, you know, not too long ago, I, too, enjoy looking at certain comics. Tell me a little bit about where your passion came from to collect.
They teach you about life. I'm gonna sound so silly here, but they do. They teach you about life. They teach you lessons. You see allegories for the world, for how you should behave. Right. As you grow up and you learn different things and you get to different stages of your life, you see different things in the characters. They've existed for so long. So many great writers and artists have been involved. They imprint their souls onto the books and the stories. I mean, it's amazing.
Is it a huge market for comic and collecting comics?
I mean, the comic book market for reading is global. The movies obviously help, the video games, the toys, etc. And collecting is becoming more and more and more of a huge component of it.
Got it. Now, I see you have a Ninja Turtles construction-made comic now.
Yes.
I know about the Ninja Turtles.
You're a Ninja Turtles fan?
Yeah, I know about.
Do you know what this is? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. It's the first comic book. The way you make comics is you look at a proof, a very early draft, printed, and you check all the spelling mistakes, you check it looks right. 2 copies existed. This is the printer's proof. They approve. That's why the cover looks janky like that. They draw the art. They send it to the printer sends them this and says, does it look the way you thought it would look? And they say yes. Or they say, no, the blacks aren't printing right. You missed the page, it's printing wrong. So they prove that, and then they mass produce it. So this is a printer's proof.
Printer's proof.
Of the first
This is special.
Yeah.
It feels special and it looks special. On the outside, you really can't tell.
It's my favorite part.
But on the inside, it has so many details and drawings and artwork. How much would something like this cost somebody if they wanted to buy it from you?
I've been offered about $300,000 to $350,000. I can't remember exactly. It was in that range.
Y'all going crazy over paper.
Yeah, I know.
What year is this?
1986, 80, something like that.
Damn. This alone, before we go any further, it's worth about $300,000 or $350,000. All right, what else you got up here, man?
This is my favorite comic of all time, Amazing Fantasy 15. That's Spider-Man, obviously. This is the first appearance of Spider-Man. You're gonna see a lot of these books, the characters first appear in a book that isn't their own book. This book is about $300,000, $350,000. I mean, it's just got one of the greatest covers of all time. Most people don't know this. Jack Kirby drew this cover. He drew almost every major Marvel character's appearance, including this one here, Captain America, #1.
Let me see.
Joe Simon signed
Joe
that.
Simon, and he drew this artwork.
He along with Jack Kirby. Jack Kirby and Joe Simon drew that book. He's punching Hitler in the face.
Captain America is punching Hitler in the face.
This is before America entered the war as well. This is their protest for we should be doing something. As Jews, they were thinking the whole country should be doing something, get involved in World War II. Yeah, this takes
all the way down to the comic books, people were
1941.
Making it known. How much?
How much is this one? This is about $400,000.
Man. Now, what about Spider-Man? My son used to love Spider-Man. Now he's turning 7 years old. He's shying away from Spider-Man. What would this cover? The first Spider-Man. So you say he was introduced on his own.
So Stan Lee was running Marvel, and it wasn't doing well because they weren't superheroes yet. They were about to go to business, and his wife said to him, just tell one story the way you want. Forget what you think they want. And he wrote this story, Amazing Fantasy 15, first appearance of Spider-Man, with a morality tale. And it blew up. And then immediately after this, Spider-Man #1 comes out, and Fantastic Four, X-Men, Daredevil changes the world.
$200,000 TV. This is kind of flawless right here. I give it to you.
That's worth $30,000.
2 Chainz is checking out Dinesh's collection of unbelievably rare comics.
This is a book called Motion Picture Funnies Weekly #1. There's 5 copies in the world. This is a book that's so rare, most collectors don't believe it exists. It took me forever to convince someone to sell me this copy. When I got it, most of my friends were like, you've got to send me a photo of you holding it because I've never seen a photo in human hands. I've been so tempted to open this because we're not entirely sure what's inside. What we do know is that this book, Marvel Comics #1, which is often considered the first Marvel book, back when they were called Timely Comics, that book named the company, is the first appearance of the Human Torch, you know, the guy that gets on fire from Fantastic Four. and for a long time was thought to be the first appearance of Namor the Submariner. Then they find this book in an estate sale for the editor, Lloyd Jaquette, who also edited the first DC comic, and this book here, the first Marvel comic. And they open it up and they go, wait a minute, it predates Marvel Comics #1, and it's got the same story. They reprinted the story, so it changes history.
These both have the same story?
Same story with a couple extra pages there, because this book was given away at movie theaters. So they would say, come to the movies, we got air conditioning, we got cheap movies, and we're gonna give your kid a little comic to read. But of course, everyone throws it away. That's why there's only 5 in the world. There's very few pictures of the inside. The whole book is not available to look at it digitally. No one really knows exactly what's in there.
I want to know what's inside this thing so bad.
So this is probably the most expensive comic book I brought today. This is like Amazing Fantasy 15. This is not Batman's own title, but it's the first appearance of Batman, Detective Comics 27 from 1939.
That's crazy.
This is
first appearance of Batman.
And that is an easy $1 million.
Amazing. Really, bro?
Easy million.
64 pages of action.
Yeah, what's that per page?
This is May 1939. First appearance of Batman, Bruce Wayne.
Now, Superman had come out right before that, so you're looking at this.
This is worth $1 million, bro.
It's worth a little over $1 million, yeah. There's only 35, 40 copies that have ever been graded. The collectors that have them, they don't want to let them go. They're never going to find another copy.
Do they know, well, I'm sure after seeing the show, that if you do have one, you should let it go. It's worth $1 million. Like, imagine you not having $1 million, not living up to some of the standards, and you have this in your attic. Redefine spring cleaning. I enjoyed Batman because his car, the little dungeon he was in, when he used to punch people, the little pow, stuff like that. So,
yeah, I'm with you,
$1 million.
Batman's the best.
On this table, how much do you think we have on this table altogether? Roughly, how much did you bring out the house?
You're gonna embarrass me. This is probably $5 or $6 million on the table here.
Damn, boy. What kind of car you got?
I have a minivan.
Oh, okay. You have a lot of kids?
I got 3 kids.
Shout out. I have 3 kids. Shout out to the kids. $6 million on my table. If you brought $5, $6 million in the collection, crazy.
The collection, all the comics, and I'm a huge comic book art collector as well. So if you look at all that, 15 million.
Damn, boy, what is wrong?
Here's the thing. Here's why I feel okay about that. I made my money in comics. I lived the American dream. I ran my favorite company of all time, the characters I loved. I built it up. I made it amazing. We got a movie made. Then they fired me. That's the American dream. It gave me a lot of money. It was called Valiant Comics. I have a Valiant-shaped hole in my heart, and I try to fill it with all the stuff I loved as a kid.
That's one of the best stories I heard on the show.
Thanks, man.
But now you're up here with me.
Yeah.
So you're a winner.
Yeah,
That's all that
true.
matters. You already know what's up, man. Most expensive is Kitty Boy. I am your host, Titty Boy. 2 Chainz.